Alright, lesson 13 already. So in this lesson, quite simply, we're going to be talking about playing some of the major chords. I'm reading them on the staff, the treble clef and bass clef. So in the theory lesson before, I think it was theory, I want to say lesson 2, I talked about what basically a major triad was. So this lesson is basically just to give you practice playing some, some pretty common major triads. And I'll make some videos in the future playing minor triads and diminished triads and other kinds of major triads as well. But today's just to kind of get your feet wet with major triads. So anyway, I'll see you in a second. Okay, so like I said, we're going to talk about playing major chords today. And all of these major chords on this sheet you see here are based on white notes. So what that means is that the first note of each chord is going to be on a white note instead of a black note. So here I have quite a few chords written out for both the left hand and the right hand. For every one of these chords, the fingering is going to be the same. It's going to be 1, 3, and 5, and that's the same all the way up. So let's take a look at our first chord here. It says C major, so our first note, as you can see here, we're talking about our right hand right now. So we've got C, E, and G. So you want to put thumb on C, your middle finger on E, and your fifth finger on G, and you want to play those all at the same time. There we go. So the left hand, of course, is going to be C, E, G again, and you have fifth finger on C, third finger on E, and the first finger on G. And you play those all at the same time. There you go, and you can play them both hands at the same time. And there we have it. That's the C major triad, or the C major chord. The next one, we have a D major chord. Let's talk about our right hand first. We've got D with finger 1, F sharp with finger 3, and finger 5 is going to play A. So you're going to play those all at the same time. Now here's the same thing with the left hand, except it's going to be finger 5 on D, 3 on F sharp, and 1 on A. You're going to play those at the same time. And there we have it. So moving right along, we have the E major triad. Remember, a triad has 3 notes. We have E, G sharp, and B, using the same fingering as all the rest. So you're going to play those all together. Then you're going to play the left hand, like so. And then you can play both right hand and left hand together. Now we're going to go to the F major chord. F, of course, is going to be our first note. A is going to be what we call the third, that middle note. And C is going to be the fifth. And you'll play all those together using the same fingering as before. Now the left hand, same deal, F, A, C, you play them all at the same time. And then you play both hands at the same time. Now we're third from the end, so this is the G major triad. So we have G, B, and D. And you're going to play those all at the same time. Of course, I think you get the idea by now. Left hand, C, or G, B, D. Play them all at the same time. There we go. And now you play both hands at the same time. There we go. So next to last one, we have A major. So we have A, C sharp, and E. And left hand, we have A, C sharp, E, and you can play those all at the same time. There we go. And then the last one, we have B major. This one's a little different, and it has 2 sharps to it instead of the others, which have no sharps or 1 sharp. And I'll explain why that is in a second. So we have B, D sharp, F sharp with 1, 3, 5, like that. And same thing with the left hand. So it's going to be 5, 3, 1. You're going to play those at the same time. Oh, it looks like I had the wrong fingering. There we go. That's it. So what you want to do is you want to pause the video and probably go through each of these and just play them on your own. I think that's how people learn the best, kind of on their own, with a little bit of guidance. So play through each of these. That should just give you a little more familiar about how to play these chords. And if you're really into it, you could memorize them, which would help you even further. So why do some of the chords have sharps and some of them do not? And the last one has 2 sharps. Well, the reasoning behind that is, if you remember from my theory lesson before, I described what a triad is. It has a first, or a root, a third, and a fifth. Remember that in the major triad, there is 4 half steps between the first and the third, and there are 7 half steps between the first and the fifth. Well, when you move up and down the keyboard, because the keyboard spacing isn't exact, and what I mean by this is that there isn't a black note between every white key. You know how you have E and F and there's no white key between there. Because of this offsets the kind of offsets the formula. So what you need to do, or the spacing rather, so what you need to do is to make sure you have the correct chord, because just moving up like this won't give you a major chord every time. Some of them are minor, and that last one's actually diminished just because of the way the spacing of the keyboard is. So if you'd use the trick of, so let's say we have the D major triad and we have this F sharp in here. Well, we need that F sharp to make 4 whole half steps between the first and the third, and you know, we don't have to do anything to the fifth because that's 7 half steps away already. Now let's talk about that B major triad. Let's see what we got here. So we have B, D sharp, and F sharp. And once again, because of the way the piano is spaced out, your first will be fine right where it is. Your third needs to be D sharp to complete 4 half steps between the first and the third. And your fifth needs to be sharped as well to make that a complete 7 half steps between the first and the fifth. So hopefully that makes sense. Go back and watch the theory video if you're a little bit confused. Or, you know, ask any questions in the comments. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Might not get back to you right away, but I try my best. So there you have it. Hopefully this video is in sync. I know the last one I posted was not, so hopefully I'm ironing that problem out. But anyway, there you have it, playing major chords at the keyboard. Okay, so that concludes lesson 13 already. So today, quite simply, all we talked about was playing major triads on the treble clef and bass clef with our right and left hand. Next time, I'm not exactly sure what we're doing. I think we'll be talking about reading flat notes, notes that are flat on the treble clef and bass clef, just to give you a little more experience with that. And then I think I'll write up some more playing examples for us to do, and then maybe some theory lessons after that. So anyway, like I always say, I hope you learned something, hope you had fun, and I'll see you at the next lesson. Thank you for watching.